Now let's make the beauty borders we have here, okay? So what I can see is that it's cut right here. Apparently that's cut. Here they don't do something here. I'm pretty sure they just cut it. They make a hole with it. But I could probably use this chamfer option. Let's give it a go. So I'm going to select only that face, and I'm going to do the top view. And you know what? That's pretty much the similar, the same angle. So I'm going to select the other line, and that looks good. So that's the internal part. It really doesn't affect, well, if I go probably 1.5 just to make it a bit more, how would you say it, snugger? I wanted to close it a little bit more, but I don't want to go too far. So I want to stick to the dimensions of this one. So I will measure this, and that is 10, 11, oh no, sorry, it's 16.8 millimeters. So I will not use this chamfer since I have to have 16.8 millimeters here. So let's make it this way. I will create another plane here, and this plane is going to have a sketch that has a rectangle. And so that rectangle, I need this line to coincide with this top line. So you hit that, and you click I, and then you click this one and click this one and hit I. So that's gonna constrain the height of that square to top and bottom lines of the whole design. Now, I need to make this square 16.8 millimeters width. So hit D, then click the top one, 16.8 millimeters. And now I need to find the center of this one and center this square to the center of the whole design. So that's gonna be super easy. So if you hover your mouse over this line with the dot, with the point option, you will see this little square. So you have the center, and you already have the center here. So just move your mouse slowly, you'll find that it highlights, and then you can constrain both very clearly. So you can use the V for Victor vertical, hit V, and it'll center it. Now you see the plane is way up. Save it, don't worry. And let's go back to the plane. So you double click the plane, and offset distance, you hit 0. So it'll bring the plane down to this option. Hit accept, and then the sketch now is sitting on top of this. So now what I need to do is just remove, and for that I will extrude, remove, and what I need to remove, the face, this one. How far do I need to go? A few millimeters, just say 5 millimeters. And if I hit bottom, just gonna go that way. I have to give a little bit of angle to see the end of this one. So I'm just gonna go smaller, for maybe 3.5 or 3. 3 is probably good enough. And I will hit accept. And so top. Okay, so I have the same distance than my guide object. So now I need to round these corners, the external corners. That's going to be super easy. You already know what I'm going to use, chamfer. So I'll go here. Whoop, this is moving strange. So what's happening? Oh, okay, got it. Sorry. Sometimes it is a little bit tricky to use that. So before, I'm just gonna accept that. Cool. So I'm going to hide this plane because I don't need it. And these ones are not going to affect much, but what I would like, or what I like to do, is don't over use this option as in, oh, I'm just gonna hit 5, you know, because it's going to give you these thin bits on the corners, and it's not really good. I am not sure what's the size or like what's the distance of this, but this is pretty much, this looks pretty close to that. So I'll accept that. And I want to clean a bit the corners as such. So I think I'm going to use another chamfer, but the chamfer is going to be just 1 millimeter, and I'm going to go one by one. So hit each one of the lines, because if you hit the whole face, for example, you hit this face, it's going to go all around. That may work, and sometimes it doesn't. Why? Because there are some lines like this one. If you use a chamfer of 2, for example, it's working. But if you go a little bit more, like 3 millimeters, then you're gonna see those fuchsia, really highlighted lines telling you there is an error. What is the error? There is no more space for you to go further with the chamfer, so you have to go back one step. So, well, in this case, the 1 millimeter chamfer is working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove, sorry for the crazy movements there. I'm going to remove those three lines. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to select that corner, and I think that's gonna be enough. Now, that's 2 squared yet, or that's 2 squared still. And I'm going to use the fillet. So the fillet is now going to round the corners. So if I hit this face, it's too big, 4 millimeters is a lot. So I'm going to hit 1 millimeter. And with 1 millimeter, it's going to give me that beautiful round corner. I'm just gonna go a bit higher, 1.5. Nice. So I'm going to go with the other face, click that face, and you have now both faces added. I'm going to add this face, and this face is going to round all 4 faces, and I'm going to round, let's try that one. And let's try, what about this one? There you go. So then you have an error. So I'm going to remove that. That's not gonna be a big deal. I'm going to round this face, and I'm going to round this face as well. Round this one, same than the other side. And I'm rounding as well this one. So from the bottom, I'm going to round these 4 faces, and I'm going to accept that. So, okay, that looks pretty good. I am rounding more the corners, a lot more. But I think that's not gonna be a big issue. However, what you can do is, I'm just going to go one step back. So you have this line, and you see the cursor changes the icon. So here you can just roll back here one step. I'm gonna roll back another step, so I'm going to remove the chamfer and fillet, and I can create another fillet just to test. So I'm going to go with the fillet of 2 millimeters, and I'm going to hit it straight in, and the fillet is too big, so I'm going to go with 1.5, too big, 1 millimeter. I heard one guy, he's a really good and professional guy doing this. He said, use chamfer and then use the fillet. It's not an overkill, but I really like to test both. So that one looks good. I'm gonna select all the faces. Why all the faces? Because I want to try what happens and if there is any issue with the 1 millimeter fillet. So that I don't need to do this one, because this one is going to round this part, so that's not a big deal. However, I just remembered that I have to do the other bit, the white bit. This little thing, not a big deal. I'm gonna fix that in 1 minute. So I'm gonna accept it. And what do you reckon? Do you like more this one, or do you like, I'm going to suppress this one and I'm going to roll this one back. I think this one looks too squared. I don't like these corners, honestly. So that's something you can play with. I have applied chamfer fillet sometimes. They work really great sometimes. Some other times it's good only to work with fillet. And I think I'm going to work with fillet only this time. So I'm going to remove this fillet and this chamfer, and fillet is fillet. It sounds like beat it. So now let's make the second part, this bit. So I need to take some, I extrude and remove material from there. So I'm going to create this part first, and then you will see what I'm going to do. So select this face, and I'm going to create a plane. I'm going to create a plane, and this plane is going to be away. Just gonna give 30 millimeters away. Why? Because it's a new part, so I don't need this to be attached to this other part. So click OK, click sketch, and hit the plane. Now, if you don't want to use left, back, top, bottom planes, you can select the plane and then hit N for November, which in Onshape is normal. So normal to the view, to the plane you are working at. And so I need to create this part, and it's a little bit rounded as well. So I'm just gonna avoid that. I'm going to make it completely squared with rounded corners. So this one is a 25 mil. Gonna create a square. This is 25 mil, enter, by 14 mil. Cool. Now let's find the center. So you hit this one, this point option, or Shift S. Hover your mouse over the top line, hover your mouse over the right or left line, it doesn't matter. And then move your mouse close to whatever you think is the center. You see the yellow dotted lines. And wherever you see those two dotted lines, you click and you leave that dot there. So of course, Onshape is going to help you to put that dot right in the center. You don't have to zoom in and find the right bit of the intersection of both lines. So since I need to center this against the center of the whole sketch, which is the center of this hole, what I can do is show the sketch of the mate connector. So you show it, and then you have this little dot appearing. So you can constrain the center of this bit against that little dot of the mate connector. So you hit both and then hit I. That's dead center, so no problem at all. Now let's extrude this, and the extrusion, the thickness of this is 2.5 millimeters. So with that selected, you click extrude, and I'm going to go with 2.5 millimeters. Remember, on the top is new, it's not add. You are not adding to anything, you are creating a new part. So click new and then hit OK. So if you hit the plane and hit N, it's going to bring you to the normal view. And now we need to do the little gaps here. So that hole, since it's right in the center, right in the middle, I'm just going to measure that hole, and that is a hole of 2.5 millimeters. So from here, you select the square, the rectangle you did, you select this face, and then before I do that, I'm going to go back and I will rename the plane and rename the other options. So plane. So 2.5 millimeters, hit this face, click sketch, go to N, and that's going to normalize the view to the object you are working at the moment. So let's create a hole of 2.5 mil, but we don't know the depth of that hole. So here is 1 millimeter. One sec. Are we sure it's 1 mil? No, 1.2. 1.2 millimeters. Cool. And I'm going to show you how to use the mirror option so that I don't have to create another little square, the 2.5 by 1.2, and center it and do all the stuff. So I'm going to create a Shift S, a point, and I will find this dot. But at this moment, I'm going to create a construction line, and I'm going to create that construction line right in the middle. It doesn't matter how big this one is. I'm just going to make it that way, that size. And I'm going to mirror this object. And what I'm going to do is mirror that object, and whatever happens to that object is going to happen to the mirror object. So to do that, you click mirror, and then it says select a mirror line. The mirror line is this one. And now it says select entities to be mirrored. So I want to mirror this, and this. So it has created the mirror of this object on this side using this line. So if I move this to the top left, is going to move the other one to the top right. Now I'm going to center this, and I'm going to just make it coincide to this dot. So click that dot, click this dot, and then hit I or coincide. It will automatically move to both of them to the center. So now I have my two little gaps there. Of course, I need to remove or extrude this down. So I'm going to hit extrude. And what I'm going to extrude is, in this case, both are now selected, and I'm going to say remove, but I'm not going to remove 25 millimeters of material. I just need to remove 3 millimeters. So instead of typing a number, you can change blind to up to face. And it's asking me what face do you want to extrude this to. So my face is this one, and click OK. Perfect. Now I need to make this hole. So the hole is, let's make the hole first. So that hole is a 10 millimeter hole. So select this, and then I'm just going to change the name of this, sketch gaps, and then extrude gaps, but I'm going to say remove. Cool. Let's go back to this one and sketch, and I'm going to create a circle. I have this little dot, but if I try to use this dot to center my circle, it's not gonna work when I'm drawing it. So what I can do is create that circle, give it the distance. The diameter in this case is 10 millimeters, and then I can click the center of that circle, and then I can select this center option or that little point. Hit I, you know that already. And to make sure that I have the correct distance, what I'm going to do is measure from here to here. How can I do that? So I could either create a construction line that goes from here down to here, and it's telling me is 2 millimeters. So if I measure this, 2 millimeters, perfect. So I'm doing the correct, I'm making the correct measurements, so I'm on the correct path. Now I'm going to remove this hole as well. So instead of creating another extrusion, because I already extrude the holes, no, you know what? I just made a small mistake, but I'm gonna keep this option. So you see this has You see this has this gap, like this ring is coming out 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters. So I'm going to extrude the like a cylinder first, and then I'm going to remove that. So I'm gonna keep this sketch there. And so what I'm going to do is I will create another sketch here. I'm going to suppress this sketch for 1 second. So I'm going to create a new sketch on that face. Click sketch, and then hit N, same thing, create the circle. But let's center it first. Hit both, hit I, then you click this line, the circle, and then you click this line, and you hit again the letter I. I'm not sure if, I think that's gonna work. It doesn't work. So what if I do this tangent? Okay. So the size of this circle, if you want to know what's the dimension, what's the diameter of that circle, you can click D for dimension, and then you click the circle as such. So that is exactly 14 millimeters. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this only 2 millimeters. Click OK. And now I'm going to unsuppress this option. But I need to move this one down to here, because I need this sketch not to be on this face, on the green one that is highlighting at the moment. So you can click that X, and it's asking me, okay, now select a plane to show that sketch. So I'm going to select this face, and now this circle has been moved from this face to this face. And if I click OK, now I'm going to move these extrude gaps down to here. Why? Because instead of creating another extrude, I'm going to use this same extrude to extrude this one as well. So what I did was saving one more feature, one more object in the list. So click accept, and then I have the same thing, the same object.